there and welcome back. So I had a reader question. It's kind of a long one. So I'm just going to give you the bare bones summary of it. The issue is the guy is 28 and she is 32. They've been in a relationship for 4 years. They've been living together for the last 2 years. The first year living together was okay, and then in the second year, all the love, sex, affection just vanished from the relationship, and it vanished on her side. So she just doesn't want to kiss him, doesn't want to have sex. It's all just gone away. So what is going on with this, and is there anything we can actually do to help or improve things? So the first rule is, and I know I've talked about this before on the channel, any time you increase the level of commitment in the relationship, anytime you're putting down more chips on the table, whether that is becoming, long-term permanent boyfriend, girlfriend, whether that's moving in together, having a kid together, buying a house, getting married, moving across country, anytime you put more chips on the table, increase the level of commitment. If the relationship just starts going bad for no clear reason, it's not like you can point to something and say there was this horrible illness that was going on. There was this massive change in medication that happened, that someone's parents died or whatever it was. Unless you can point to something that you can both agree on, like this is the issue, this is the thing that's causing it, it's a horrible sign for the future. It is a huge red flag. So if you look at his situation, he's 28, she's 32, sex and affection has disappeared. If he then decides to marry her or get her pregnant, it's just going to be making things so much worse. He's going to be more committed to something that is just not going to pay off for him. So here's the other thing that's going on, and it's just the age difference. And I'm not saying that all relationships with this younger guy and an older woman terrible or immoral or whatever. I'm not saying any of that. I'm sure there are some of them that work just fine. But there really are some underlying rules that are just driving the bus in this situation. So when two people get together and start a relationship, they are almost always at about equal levels of just basic out-of-the-box hotness and attractiveness. So it's like if you think of the scale out of 10 of hotness, 2 7s are going to get together, 2 8s are going to get together, 2 4s are going to get together. There's this equality and balance there. So they got together when he was 24 and she was 28. Okay. Next thing. The unfortunate reality is that men and women reach their peak levels of hotness at different ages. There's kind of a power curve up and down, and we peak at different ages. And I think for women, it's probably around age 25. So going up to age 25, they can be increasing in sex appeal and hotness, and then after 25, it starts drifting away some. And no, I'm not saying women over the age of 25 are useless, horrible, unattractive, unlovable, unworthy creatures. I'm just saying that's when their peak hotness is. And for guys, it's a bit later. It's probably about 35. And especially even with young guys that are really physically attractive and appealing, a lot of their value is their potential to develop into someone that has a really good career or finances or stuff or power or whatever it is. And that doesn't really get fully realized until they're hitting their mid-30s. Okay, so if we say the peak female hotness is at 25 and she started the relationship at 28, she's already on the quote-unquote wrong side of 25, and now she's 32 and she's drifted further down. And if he got into the relationship when he was 24, well, he was still 9 years away from his potential peak hotness. And now at 28, he's still moving towards it. So unfortunately, they got together at roughly equal balance points, except her hotness is starting to drift away and go down, and his hotness is starting to drift slowly upwards. And as that happens, the basis of their relationship starts moving a little bit further apart. So just plucking numbers from the air, if we say when they got together they were both 7s, and that made sense when they were 7s, well, she started to drift down to 6, and he started to rise towards 8. And a relationship between an 8 and a 6 is always going to be horribly unbalanced. And the 6 is always going to be freaking out that the 8 is just going to wake up one day and just dump them. And when that happens, they will be powerless to stop it, because they will have no leverage, no balance in this relationship, because the 8 just outranks the 6, and that's that. The 8's going to be going off and looking for other 8s, and the 6 is going to be stuck with looking for 6s. The other issue is right now she's 32, so she's moving closer and closer towards, that ever-diminishing window of fertility. If she wants to get married and have kids, she's running out of time. And if the guy has made no moves to sort of say, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm wanting from you, if he was not talking about that or implying it or suggesting it in that first year together, and she was hoping all of that was going to happen, maybe she had a covert contract in her head that she didn't dare say. If he's not making those moves towards, getting married and kids and all that sort of stuff, and that's what she wants, she's made a bad bet. She's invested 4 years of her life into something that's just not going to pan out. And that's horribly depressing. So I'm not surprised that she's starting to pull away some. I'm not surprised that the love, sex, and affection sort of thing starts dropping. That's how some people react. They internalize it, and they beat themselves up, and they just feel bad, and they shut down and pull away. That way, when the dumping finally happens, it doesn't hurt as much compared to if they were all in, totally available, and totally connected to their partner. So I think that's what's going on, and it's just relationship math. And I've seen this effect with the younger guy, older woman, just dozens of times now. And almost always when it is the younger guy, older woman, he usually has no real idea and appreciation of his potential value and what he could do to be attractive to women. And from her point of view, if she's in a relationship with a guy that's younger than her, often she's in this quandary of, I'm with someone that isn't maximizing potential, but if I get him to maximize his potential, I'm going to be potentially dumped and alone. So I got to find ways to make sure that sort of doesn't happen. So I've now seen that scenario a good dozen times. And it's just unfortunate. No one is doing anything wrong here. No one is being mean or horrible or abusive. It's just there's this numbers game that's just driving the bus behind the scenes. There's just this relationship math. So that's about it. And I know there's no real solution to them, because I get the feeling that at some point he's just going to say, well, if I'm not getting what I want, there's no point staying. And he is caught in the situation too, where like if she does want marriage and family and kids and all that sort of stuff, well, if he starts suggesting all that now in the hope the relationship's going to magically improve, it goes back to that first rule. He would be ignoring a horrible, horrible sign, because the affection and the sex is already dead. There is zero assurance that any of that is going to come back if he gets her pregnant, buys a house, marries her, any of those things. And it just be incredibly risky. So it's a very unfortunate situation, and my heart goes out to both of them because it is really just difficult. No one's done anything wrong. So that is about it, and I will talk to you soon.